As the longest football year in NFL history is laid to rest until next season, the Golden California Sun sets on the Los Angeles Coliseum, the site of this year's Pro Bowl. And while most of this year's football prima donnas arrived by a chartered bus, only one individual chose to cruise in via limousine. None other than Thomas, please call me Hollywood Henderson of the Cowboys. For Sir Thomas, King of the Mouth, the Pro Bowl provided one more screen test and the final strutting of the stage. Yet others have different thoughts nearing game time. For instance, this year's Super Bowl MVP, Terry Bradshaw, is still savoring the championship and takes time for a final autograph and a chew. But for one individual, veteran Ram guard Tom Mack, it is the final game of an outstanding 13-year career. In his 11th Pro Bowl, Mack will be pass blocking for the NFC's starting quarterback, Cowboy Roger Staubach. According to the league's complex rating system, he was considered the best in '78. Backup quarterback Archie Manning earned his first Pro Bowl berth, enjoying his best season in 8 years in the league. AFC quarterback Bob Greasy enters his 6th Pro Bowl and will complement the starter Terry Bradshaw of the Steelers. This is Terry's first Pro Bowl because a concussion suffered in Super Bowl X denied him his opportunity. Terry's teammate Franco Harris is no neophyte to the contest, starting in his 7th straight Pro Bowl. 80 of the NFL's most talented stars are present for this, the 9th annual Pro Bowl. Terry Bradshaw predicts that his AFC team will avenge the 14-13 defeat suffered at the hands of the NFC last year. We'll just have to wait for the outcome, as the 1979 Pro Bowl is the NFL Game of the Week. Bradshaw sought to jump out early and called on Earl Campbell for good yardage. The league's Rookie of the Year didn't fail, and Bradshaw thought that a strike to his teammate Lynn Swann couldn't either. Taking his place among the elite receivers in the NFL, Swann's 11 touchdown catches this season easily offset his miscue. Tony Dorsett answered for the NFC. Like Bradshaw, Roger Staubach took to the air early, seeking out the Vikings' speedy receiver Ahmad Rashad. NFL interception leader Tom Darden was called for interference on the play. Nevertheless, the drive failed, and a subsequent field goal attempt was short. Back in control, the AFC's fullback Sam Cunningham revealed why he's known around the league as Slam Bam. With Cunningham and Campbell blasting the AFCers downfield, a 4th-and-1 situation from the NFC's 24-yard line roused Henderson and his teammates. The Oilers' super rookie was thrown for a 1-yard loss, and it appeared that scoring would be next to impossible for anyone. One reason for the scoreless first quarter was simply lackadaisical play. The Jets' fleet-footed receiver Wesley Walker was not the only one who showed that even illustrious Pro Bowlers can be subject to human frailty. Of course, good, strong defense might have had a small role in determining the pair of goose eggs as well. After the Lions' Doug English terrorized Bradshaw, a steaming pair of 7s belonging to Lyle Alzado hunted down Staubach. Though it was just in fun for the Denver defensive end, there was a big defensive tackle named Louis Kelcher who wanted to frolic about too. While Kelcher and Alzado were jabbering about their defensive exploits, Willie Buchanan of the Packers decided that he wanted to play some defense by himself. With all the defensive dawdling out of the way, Bradshaw decided to look for Swan again. This time, the Bradshaw and Swan tandem clicked, and another look from the top reveals why it worked all season long for the Steelers. It is simply a combination of Bradshaw's ability to roll out and fire and the incredible leaping ability of Swan, the thoroughbred. With the start of the second quarter, AFC coach Chuck Fairbanks inserted Bob Griese to continue the drive for the AFC All-Stars. The Chargers' John Jefferson, who led all NFL receivers in touchdown catches, was Griese's target. But once again, it was time for the defense to rear its ugly head. With Griese caught, it was time for his teammate, Garo Yepremian, to try and salvage 3. Finally, it was time for Archie Manning of the NFC to organize a scoring drive. Wilbert Montgomery, whose 1,220 yards rushing sparked the Eagles, ignited the NFC squad. David Hill's super one-handed grab kept the drive alive. And it was Archie's turn to show why he's probably the NFC's best scrambler. With a second and goal, Manning decided to see if he could pick on the Steelers' Mel Blount and lofted a floater for Tony Hill in the corner. Sure enough, one of the league's premier cornerbacks was burned, but Hill was ruled out of bounds. As a result, Montgomery was called on for the crucial yardage. Montgomery, who averaged a very respectable 4.7 yards per carry this year, will not forget this, his first Pro Bowl invitation. Unfortunately, Corral's extra point was missed, and Bud Grant's NFC squad clung to a precarious 6-0 lead. Bob Griese decided to do something about it, too. The Seahawks' Steve Largent hauled in Griese's toss, and Bullet Bob decided to stick with a good thing and look for Largent once more. Luckily for the NFC, Super Steve ran out of room on the sidelines, but Griese decided that this Dolphins-Seahawk alliance was just too tough to stop. A look from ground level reveals that if you provide the Dolphin with calm seas and the Seahawk with an open sky, the tranquility will kill you. With the score 7-6 in the AFC's favor, the sudden rash of scoring aroused the Coliseum crowd. Of course, there might possibly have been another reason responsible for the sudden rejuvenation of the masses. With less than 2 minutes to operate, Griese decided that 7 wasn't enough. Backs like Franco Harris make the 2-minute drill a bit less difficult, and Griese's newfound companion Largent might have even made it enjoyable. A ground-level repeat reveals that linebacker Thomas Henderson, number 56, and his Hollywood aura were no match for the dynamic duo. Despite Griese's determination, it would stand 7-6 at the half. Hollywood's version of Pro Bowl drum roll gets the second half underway as Terry Bradshaw did his favorite thing on first down. Oakland's Dave Casper, an old-timer when it comes to crossing the middle, was met by Pro Bowl newcomer Harry Carson, who has dubbed himself the Black Bill Bergey. Next, the AFC calls on Earl Campbell. an all-world rookie everything who gets first downs with feet to spare. Well, first down again, and the AFC's leading passer was still quarterbacking. So it's not what he was going to do, but who he was going to throw to. The Jets' number 85, Wesley Walker, had beaten the Rams' Pat Thomas and Dallas's Cliff Harris deep. But Terry missed his mark and had to keep the drive alive with a member of the NFL's leading backfield. Number 39, Sam Cunningham from New England, got close to the first down. But the first down wasn't what Bradshaw was interested in. Terry had spotted the same line. Nope. Yeah. So like schoolboys trying not to smile and give away their discovery, the offense tugged at their serious faces and marched toward the test. But Bradshaw, drawing precisely the perfect plan, uncharacteristically executed poorly a second time. And in this league, a third time is not a charm. Number 10, Brad Van Pelt, a Giants linebacker, corralled Bradshaw and knocked the ball into the arms of fellow defender number 26, Pat Thomas. Yardage inside the 20 was hard to come by. Watching the NFC offense take the field was a familiar sideline scene for the Cowboys' Billy Joe Dupree and his head coach. Only the coach is Bud Grant this time. But they are watching Roger Staubach in much the same manner that the Cowboys' Tom Landry and the same Billy Joe Dupree often did. That might lead some people to wonder why, even in the Pro Bowl, Roger can't use his 10 years of NFL experience to call his own plays. It is evident that at least on this play, the coach was calling a play designed for Walter Payton, the NFC's leading rusher. Regardless of who was calling the plays, the NFC was on the move. Number 33, running back Tony Dorsett, in his first Pro Bowl, found out quickly why Denver's Lyle Alzado was asked back. Still trailing 7-6 in the ground route to the goal clogged up, Staubach took to the air. Pinpoint passing to Ahmad Rashad equals a sizable gain on any field. That catch for 30 yards was the third of the night for the Vikes' clutch receiver. Another look at that pass reveals double coverage. Knowing where his defenders are and having excellent concentration makes Rashad a talented target. But even number 29 admits Staubach's 30-yard line drive had something to do with the results. But sometimes even Roger Staubach has less than satisfactory results. Number 40 cornerback Mike Haynes halted the NFC's scoring threat. Haynes is playing with a perfect record, 3 seasons in the NFL and 3 Pro Bowl appearances. With defensive play like that, his string should remain unbroken. But AFC teammate Terry Bradshaw has known some defensive greats. One is Dallas's number 43. Cliff Harris may or may not dispute that claim, but there are other things he will argue about. Meanwhile, Bradshaw was forced out of the pocket by a force stronger than opinion. It was Hollywood trying to get back Judge Bob Rice to dance. Actually, folks, Henderson was trying to demonstrate his rendition of Linebacker Ramble, which he never got to show Bradshaw in Super Bowl 13. So since he missed his chance again, he'll do the next best thing. Talk about it. The NFC's defense was doing more than talk as they continued to outguess the AFC. Number 66, Philadelphia's Bill Bergey, doesn't have to guess on a screenplay. He's been around long enough to smell him out. A stiff defense and a rare shanked punt by Oakland's Ray Guy gave the NFC superb field position. Of course, what can give you better field position than another catch by Ahmad Rashad? But when things get crowded inside the 20-yard line, running back Wilbert Montgomery can dance. But inside the 20, Roger Staubach knows what happens when the rules limit the defense to man-to-man coverage. Wide open in the end zone, teammate number 80, Tony Hill, said later, "I asked Roger to throw me a corner." The NFC, now leading by a 13-7 margin, put the pressure on the AFC. Earl Campbell recovered his own fumble on this play, and on the next down shows why quarterbacks aren't reluctant to go right back to the Yellow Rose of Texas. Runs like that made Earl the NFL rushing champ, but it was the fourth quarter, and Greasy knew it was a long way to 6 points. Number 76, Dave Pear, certainly enjoyed his somersault sack. This is the Bucs defensive tackle's first Pro Bowl, and he is Tampa Bay's first contribution. But the NFC defense, rookies and veterans alike, had decided to stifle any AFC fourth quarter comeback. Number 73, the Rams' Cody Jones, put the finishing touches on the NFC defensive game plan. Forcing the AFC to punt isn't necessarily a good game plan, but there are two things that dull the effectiveness of Ray Guy. One, his own mistakes, or two, a good return man. 80-yard and 99-yard touchdown returns are the credentials of the Redskins' number 32, Tony Green. The good field position he attained put Archie Manning in control for the NFC, and Archie went to the game's MVP. Ahmad Rashad made his last catch of the night. The 5 receptions and 89 yards topped a great season for Rashad, as he was voted the game's most valuable player. Enough for tonight, he decided to chat with Roger about the pros and cons of last-second game-winning touchdown. Manning knew the value of seconds and let Montgomery devour some. Montgomery, with one of the longest rushes of the night, had put the game out of reach. So it's time to honor one's own. Tom Mack's last professional football minute was spent on the field among those who respected his accomplishments the most. The last play of the longest regular season in football evoked memories, sighs of relief, and even some horseplay. Thus ended one of the most exciting and competitive seasons in the history of the game for the fans and armchair quarterbacks across America. The players as well had developed a renewed respect for each other's accomplishments as the NFC made it 2 in a row.